Mr. Atul Aneja joins us from the New Delhi suburb of Gurugram. Mr. Aneja is the editor of India Narrative, a news website. Mr. Aneja, welcome to DD India News Up. First up, how do you view India's rejoinder to Pakistan at the UN?
Well, the rejoinder had to come, Ramesh, and it was a strong rejoinder, though I think we were a little bit too polite this time. The language was so polished and so dignified that I'm not sure whether it would make that kind of impact in Pakistan, but perhaps we were not just looking at Pakistan, but other constituencies. But here was the contrast. Symbolic reply from the Pakistani representative, Munir Akram, which criticized India on everything possible, including the Washington Post report aware of regarding so-called extrajudicial killings to Ram Mandir, etc., etc. So this was the contrast between India's position, which is trying to project itself as a more progressive and forward-looking country, and this has been a consistent pattern, as you can see in the report which was compiled just before you asked me the question. And here is the other track, which is deeply into terror, etc. So I think the reply was dignified, polished, and it addressed more constituencies than just Pakistan.
Indeed. Mr. Aneja, India mooted what is known as a comprehensive convention on international terrorism way back in 1996, a full 5 years before the 2001 terror attacks in the US. But it hangs fire to this day because we are told UN member states can't seem to agree on the definition of terrorism. What is terrorism and who is a terrorist? Now, why is the world quibbling over semantics after all these decades?
It's difficult to gauge, to be honest, Ramesh, as to why there has been no consensus on something as heinous as terrorism. But I suppose people and countries are looking through a political prism at the issue of terrorism. I don't want to name the countries, but they have their vested interests that there is no UN sort of convention on terrorism, which would force them to take certain steps domestically within their countries and sort of eliminate these as instruments of state policy, these terrorists, I mean. So I think that's one of the reasons why it's happening. But there's also, Ramesh, excuse me, there's also a lesson here that if the world community is unable to take action against terrorism, then should one be looking at alternatives, that if you cannot have a consensus on that, can we have another approach, a more regional approach, through other organizations which India is a member? Should we try and pass it through the G20? Because we can't wait, Ramesh, to counter
Indeed.
If the UN is not playing ball, then I'm sorry, we should exercise other options as well.
And that gives me a perfect segue into my last question to you, Mr. Aneja. What can India do on its own or together with like-minded countries to defang the terror network or apparatus in Pakistan?
I think like-minded countries, Ramesh, is important. And those who are suffering from terrorism. We need to have a database, for example. The SCO, for example, has one in Uzbekistan. So you need to share intelligence. You need to have counter-terror exercises with like-minded countries and protocols to make intervention wherever they are required. So I think these are some of the options which one can think of. Intelligence sharing is definitely a very, very important element in it, and then we collectively take action wherever it is suitable and where it's required in the national interest.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Mr. Aneja, pleasure as always to talk to you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.